educational video. Table of contents. Today we will be talking about the moon's different phases and the different moons. How the moon affects the tides, solar flares, and solar spots and solar radiation. There's 2 slides to that. Oh.
The moon's different phases. There are 8 different phases of Earth's moon. The 8 phases of the moon are waxing crescent, first quarter, waxing gibbous, full moon, waning gibbous, last quarter, and finally, waning crescent.
Waxing crescent rises before noon, sets before midnight, and repeats every 29.531 days.
First quarter. It rises at noon, transits meridian at sunset, and sets at midnight, and repeats every 29.531 days.
The word gibbous means more than half full. The bright surface is larger than the half moon, but smaller than a full moon. This phase of the moon sometimes is seen rising in the afternoon.
Full moon. A full moon occurs when the moon is on the opposite side of the sun. On some parts of the Earth, you can see the full moon during the day. A full moon is responsible for causing bigger ocean tides and extreme meteorological conditions.
When the moon is in the waning gibbous phase, the sunlit part of the moon is decreasing from 99.9% to 50.1%, and it rises after sunset, transits the meridian after midnight, and sets after midnight. Repeats every 29.531 days.
Last quarter. The moon does not emit its own light, shining instead by reflecting sunlight. Rises at midnight and transits meridian at sunrise and sets at noon. It repeats every 29.531 days.
The waning crescent moon rises after midnight, transits meridian after sunrise, and sets after noon. Meridian is a circle of a constant longitude passing through a given place on the Earth's surface in the terrestrial poles.
How the moon affects the tides. The moon has a big effect on how the tides are formed and caused. The moon has a strong gravitational pull that pulls tides up when on the farthest side of the moon. The bulges that form from the moon are called high tides.
Solar flares. Distribute signals in space that can cause devices to be turned off for a brief moment. It is caused when there is energy buildup in the solar atmosphere and then it gets released. First solar flare recorded was on September 1st, 1859. And the energy getting released is 10 million times greater than a volcanic explosion.
Sunspots. The sunspots are spots on the sun that are cooler than the other parts of the sun, and that is why they are darker. Sunspots cause more solar flares to form. That can increase the geomagnetic storm activity on Earth. This can cause an increase in the northern and southern lights. Sunspots are magnetic fields. They are so strong because they are keeping most of the heat on the sun's surface.
Solar radiation. Solar radiation is a source of warmth for the Earth. Solar radiation is also a big part of photosynthesis. Solar radiation causes the tissue on the human body to heat up. Too much of this radiation can result in heat strokes and other types of reactions to elderly or young people.
Too much exposure to solar radiation can cause multiple types of skin cancer, cataracts, and other diseases, and faster skin aging. Solar radiation includes a large number of ultraviolet radiation with the short wavelength being below 315 nm, which can be harmful to Earth. That's it.
That is it for the slide. demonstration of, let's say this is the sun and this is the moon. As the moon rotates around the sun, it shows the different phases that the moon goes through as it rotates.